You fine now? Are we good? You two, fucking do your thing. Yay. Wow. Fucking Streamlabs, man. Now for that. Come on, Zooks. There we go. Man, even with the setup. Wait, what the hell? Oh, that hoe. Oh, that little fucking hoe actually did, like, spring it, but was able to get out. And probably bumped into it or something. That bastard. You little hoe. You know about this shit, bro. You know, man. Little asshole. There we go. There we go. Okay. Check this. Okay. Okay, so that should avoid bumping into it. There we go. Oh my goodness. And Onion Nugget's gonna be live later today. Sweet. Sweet to sweet. Show a little doggo. This has been dork this morning so far. He saw a bird land like in front of him, got him some nuts, as I was put some peanuts out earlier, and of course, this dog was like really unsure about what to do about a bird. A scrub jay, at least. One of those blue birds. And eventually, as soon as he like took one step towards that bird, it flew off. Did a couple of hops, like bam, 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 boo, and it flew away. So, yeah. I'm thinking the scrub jays around here are starting to get used to me. Because even though Zukov was farther away from the bird, I was way closer to it. Because that bird landed probably, like, from me to where Zukov is, actually. Like, pretty close. So look at birds recognizing that I'm the one who lets the food out a lot. So, yeah, I think they keep their distance, but I think they end up being pretty chill. So that's pretty cool. I saw some squirrels earlier, but as soon as I started putting my nuts out, they all ran off. So, don't know if they'll come back, but at least there's food for them. And the fat rat has yet to be captured yet. Did a round on the trap outside, nothing. So, that big bastard is yet to be caught. The little bastard in here is yet to be caught, though apparently nearly sprung the trap, which I'm wondering how that would have happened. I'm wondering if that was because it like kind of waltzed in there a little bit, or was fucking around with something on it. Oh, you know what? That could be it. I think it probably was fucking with the trap, because I have the food and water bowl right on top of it for my dog. I bet that rat was thinking, oh, I have to climb up on this thing to go grab water or food. And, it probably sprung the trap gate, or at least the door specifically when that happened. Man, dude, rats are really fucking ridiculous. I mean, they're not like the worst thing in the world these days, but oh my god, they are annoying. They're more just annoying than anything. I don't really have like the worst issue with them. They just need to just go away. I don't want them hanging out around here. I don't mind the squirrels or any other critters, but those fucking rats, go away. Go annoy someone else. Ugh. And a fat chunk of phlegm. Bleh. There we go. Ooh, that's cold. But nice. It's cold, but nice. Just about love it. Oops. Careful with that food, bulldog. I actually don't know if it was a good idea to have his food bowl on top of that trap. Because if he paws at his food bowl, that shit is flying. Well, he's actually been pretty good about it. That's a good point. Just a good little fluffy boy. Let's see what's happening before they die. Part of me just does wish a little bit, low-key, that my nuggets was at least a little bit earlier in the afternoon. I wish, honestly. Didn't they used to? I think they used to, like, start at, like, 2 back in the day. Actually, yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, they did. Because I remember sometimes, like, I literally would just start my shift and, yeah, be tuning into them. Oh, you fuck! You did! You spilt the food bowl, but you know what? You didn't even... You know what? Actually, I'm impressed. You didn't spill the food bowl, actually. You dropped it, but you, like, shakunk. You, like, dropped it perfectly flat. Or at least right side up. Alright, I'm a little impressed with that. You knocked something down and kept it right side up. silly dog. Just a silly thing. Oh, I actually read up a little more about that guy Sadat shit that happened from New York yesterday. And, of course, what I assumed was he was charged with inciting riot. I think he had like one or two other charges on it, but that was like pretty much the predominant charge he got. Which, yeah, makes sense. Because honestly, thinking about that situation, like I was saying from last night, I don't know how you could, I don't know what you could charge him with outside of that. I'm sure they probably could, but, I mean, honestly, it's just like, bro, it was such a fuck up that, I mean, you'd be lucky that's all you got charged with, this inciting riot. Because, there were at least what looked like some injuries and shit, and definitely, at least very benign vandalism and shit that happened. It's like, that was your event, dude. Like, you are at least to some level accountable toward that shit. Even if it is, indirectly or at least, benignly, just due to the fact that it is your event. You are in charge of that shit. So, it should have been on your fucking onus and that to fucking, make sure that didn't happen. But of course, dumbass just had to fuck around and find out. I don't really feel like that bad for him, but I at least do a little bit, just on the verge of that, he obviously was going in it with decent intentions. But it's just one of those things, man, where you just gotta think a little bit. I have a shitload of fans, a lot of people that like me and support me, and and want to organize an event. At that point, if the first thought is just doing it at a park instead of a venue, you already fucked up. But I already pretty much went through all that for yesterday off and on a little bit. So I'll rehash it, but still. Not surprised with what he got charged with. I will admit, I hope he, doesn't necessarily get the fucking book thrown at him, because I don't think it deserves that. He just definitely deserves to at least be held accountable to that shit, and at worst, maybe a month in jail, maybe a shitload of community service, some hefty fines, that shit. I don't really think it, deserves to have it, the book thrown at it, life ruin shit or whatever the fuck. At least I personally think. If I was, the jury of his case, that's what I would think. Held accountable to at least some of the fuck-ups, but understand it wasn't ill-attended, and, at least make it so they, so that person realizes that, they need to set up a venue, and essentially, is barred from doing something like that again. Under a judge order to be you can't organize an event like that unless it's via a venue. I'm sure a judge could probably do that. I would think. I don't see why not, at least. I'm trying to think if there's another situation like this that's happened before. I think the closest I could think is the 2000 Democratic Convention with Rage Against the Machine. But that was a political protest and rally and shit. That was because DNC kind of fucked over the primaries at the time, and the whole DNC National Convention, people were upset with the Democrats at that point. That don't sound too different from, these days. and the Rage Against the Machine happened to spontaneously play at the DNC, at the National Convention. And they had like a 30-minute to an hour set, or something like that, a pretty decent set. And the entire event was peaceful, rowdy, people bumping, moshing, stuff like that, slam dancing, etc. People have fun, so it's like, that's like the closest thing I think of, because as soon as Rage Against the Machine was over with their set, then the cops came in and said, you have 15 minutes before this is considered an unlawful assembly and a riot. At a crowd of thousands of people, way more than what Kai Cenat had. And in the middle, I think, of LA. And straight up, people started kind of panicking a little bit, and of course getting mad at the cops and started fucking on them a little bit. And it ended up actually being a riot because the cops incited it. And it ended up causing, some crowd crushes, major injuries. Like, I think they actually were on horseback too, so some people got trampled by horses and shit. It was fucking wild. And there was video of it. I think, Rage Against the Machine has, live concert footage, where they were able to get footage of, the whole fucking, riot and shit. So, and, released it with their, live, concert video for that. Which, I mean, that's the closest thing I could think of, but that wasn't even done, because of Rage. The cops started that well after Rage was over with their set. So it's the closest thing I could think of to it. Even, and even then, the, people that did the event, at least in that case, Rage Against the Machine back in 2000, they weren't the ones who caused it, or started it, or indirectly or otherwise. Well, Kai Cenat did. At least indirectly. So, I mean, the closest thing I can think of between those two situations, and even then, they're not even really comparable. So it's definitely a really unique situation that happens. And also will definitely probably set a precedent about some shit. When it comes to people organizing events and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's kind of interesting to see what happens as a result of it. I'm just honestly, it was kind of fucking, crazy in itself, just in the sense that it will probably set a precedent about streamers and hosting events and shit like that. Or at least a more underground, rule of mouth thing, where it's don't do that, within streamer community or something, even if it's not a law. I mean, I still can't kind of get over the fact that, in a span of a day, or less than a day, that, that motherfucker just got, thousands of people to show up, though. I mean, it's still impressive. I'm still pretty impressed by it overall. It was just, he fucked up. It's, still impressive, but he still fucked up. An impressive fuck up, but still, nonetheless. Enough about Cenat, though. I already talked pretty at length about that shit anyway yesterday. Just want to at least do a little update on it. Because, shocker. Charge of inciting a riot. Who would have thunk? I mean, I guess I kinda, wouldn't have, just on the sense that they probably could have charged him for other shit, but I just don't know what that would be. So, I'm guessing just everything got lumped in with that. Which makes sense. I just can't get over the fact that they try to drive away with a bunch of people in their van like it was some zombie apocalypse shit, dude. That was insane. I mean, it's you would think that one of them would, hop out the window and be get the fuck off the van or something so we can go, or some shit. You would think. But no. They just kept driving. It's Jesus. I wonder how long all those people stuck on, at least on the roof of the van. The people on the sides eventually started slowly but surely falling off, but, what about the people on top of it? They were probably chilling on that thing for a while. I just thought, like, what if, like, you know, at least one or two of the dudes, like, held on long enough to where, like, Casey and his guys, like, went to a parking garage or some shit. I'm assuming that's probably what happened. Found, like, a parking garage or, like, somewhere to park, you know, away from the event so they can kind of, like, collect their, you know, bearings a little bit. They go outside and look on top of their van. They're like, what the fuck? There's still one of you up there? It's like, yeah, I've just been sitting here, man. You still got a free PS5, bro? No, get out of here, bro. It's like, what do you think we're driving away, man? Fuck off. Man, dude. That shit was just whack. I'm sure there's probably gonna still be, like, footage coming out of that shit, too. I was honestly pretty impressed about all the different angles, honestly. Like, I mean, it was one thing to see, like, the news helicopter footage of all that shit, but then, like, you know, all the people that were recording from down below, like, you know, on the ground, it really kind of helped put way more of a perspective of how genuinely chaotic shit was. But it was just kind of like chaotic, rowdy, fun vibes for the most part, but some people just did not know how to release that properly and just, you know, were kind of fucking around too hard. I'm just kind of wondering, like, after all that's said and, you know, done with his whole trial and all that shit, I kind of wonder what he's going to do after that. I feel like, obviously, he's going to go back to his usual thing, but there's no way he's going to be able to, like, you know, just have his same shtick, basically. Oh, I know he wouldn't probably make, like, a big, like, powwow type of thing. Be like, I'm back, baby. Because it's like, Sonata ain't gonna be streaming for a long time. Like, he basically did his final hoorah, you know, for a good while. And now he's gonna be on unintentional hiatus. And probably banned from Twitch, too. But I think that's just gonna be more or less just a slight hiccup for him. Which is why, honestly, I'm not, like, that fucking, you know, whatever about it. You know, at least with the whole situation. Because, like, you know, I don't think he needs to get, like, fucked over or anything. I don't think he will, inherently, outside of just whatever he gets charged with. Which, to be fair, is understandable, and I ain't even really gonna think it's, like, too out of field. Unless it's, like, multiple years of prison, then that's a little fucking ridiculous. But, you know, it's, again, it's community service, a lot of fines, I think, would be fine. At least I'd argue it would be. But, yeah, what other random things happen for the day? Well, there's a whole bunch of random shit about the whole, like, Trump trial shit, which, like, unless there's, like, video of that shit, I don't care. In which there isn't. Which annoys me. It's like, for such a public case and shit, you would think that it would at least be somewhat, like, documented more so than just privately. Or at least in an exceptional, you know, situation, I would think. Because I know at least with a lot of cases, they tend to obviously be, well, you know, sequestered off into more privacy outside of, like, once the, you know, like, the day is over for that. But, I mean, considering the situation, you would think there would, because honestly, I fucking so badly want to, like, see that motherfucker kind of squirming around, you know, while being, you know, harangued by, you know, with questions and this and that shit. I want to see that. It's like, I don't want to just hear, like, you know, word of mouth shit, or just like, you know, yep, this is what happened today. It's like, show me. I don't want none of those, like, weird-ass drawings that, you know, the fucking people do either. Because this is what I'm looking at. It's this shit. Like, I don't want this. I want some real videos and stuff. I want to see the shit going on. And why did the artist try to make Trump look kind of, like, svelte looking? Like, look, dude, what the fuck is this? Like, why does he look like he's svelte looking? Like, where's his nuts? Why does he not look all flabby and schlubby looking? Whoever drew that, obviously, you know, kind of made him look a little more appealing than he should be. So I want to actually see it. And I know I ain't the only one. I want to see him, you know, get, you know, be put on the witness, you know, stand and all sort of shit. I want to see all those, like, other motherfuckers, you know, like, hit the stand and all that shit and fucking, you know, just, like, you know, be, just, like, either spewing random-ass bullshit or just, like, being blunt, be like, yeah, he did that. And just, like, fucking him over right then and there, right to his face. If only. Zooks. Here's your boy. Oh, little treat. I think you've earned yourself a little tweet. Yeah. Slowly but surely making it. Oh, oof. Slowly but surely making away, and then you just like fucking. Oh. You don't have to put all your weight on me, my dude. Hey, paw. There you go. You don't have to put your whole weight on me, dude. Especially right now. I'm still kind of waking up. You know, you're supposed to be chewing those. I swear to God, if you somehow, like, bring that back up, I'm not gonna be happy. Okay, you didn't. Evidently, I have to break those apart for you, because you don't know how to chew those efficiently. You fucking silly boy. You big goofball. Look at you. What, I mean, are you just gonna be hanging out here now? Just hanging out now? I guess he is. He's just like, alright, I'm hanging out here now. What's up, puppy? What's up, little boy? What, do you want another treat? I'm not gonna give you that one. I want to give you another one. Where do the other ones go? Oh, there they are. I'll give you a small one. Oh, hey, watch the paw. Well, grab it. I was waiting for you to grab it. Alright, that's it for now. That's all you get. Hey, don't be like huffing all over my weed. What the hell? Really? Ooh. Really, dog? Now what? Now you're just like looking up at me, just staring at me. Good lord. You can't just like, you know, endlessly beg for attention hoping that like I give you something every time. Because that's not how it works. Ugh, what a silly boy. He's very patient about being, you know, a weird little beggar boy, though. Well, sometimes. Like, sometimes he'll be very adamant about it and just really aggressively paw at me. Be like... Sometimes he'll just let that paw just stay there. Be like, please, give me thy attention. Give me treats. Spoil me. Decided to run off and be distracted by some other shit now. Hopefully a fly. Actually, surprisingly, there ain't really many in here right now. Usually there's always at least one or two that have fucked with me by now. So... that's actually a relief. To the point where I'm noticing they aren't fucking with me. That's nice. I don't have to feel like I'm slowly going mad. Because holy shit, dude. I mean, you'd think flies would not be the most annoyingest little motherfuckers, but dude, they can be, bro. They're the most evilest little fucks. I mean, they're useful, obviously, when they're outside of a home, but once they're inside and they're buzzing around the room, like, they always have, like, an urge to specifically fly around you when that shit happens. Just so they can really make sure that you're annoyed and you can hear that little buzz right by the ear. Sometimes they'll just fly by, like, right next to the fucking ear. And you really get a good old buzz right in that ear and it just fucking grates it. Ugh. Oh, bastards, man. Shit's the most fucking horrible thing. Hate it. Let's see what's happening for a day. Any random little news outside of the two usual things? Let's see. And there really isn't. At least not that much. Boo. A boo. Actually, outside of, like, you know, the whole Senat thing and I guess the whole Trump shit, I mean, really actually has been kind of a slow news week. It was like that last week, too, it feels like. Which, considering these days, actually, honestly, isn't really that bad. It just kind of means that we're kind of in a lull period of insanity. Which is actually, yeah, actually nice. It's like, oh my god, crazy shit, you know, at least, you know, isn't happening to such a degree to where it's like every fucking day. It's like, oh, it's actually kind of nice. It's like, ah, news is actually kind of chill today. Good. Well, I guess I shouldn't say the news isn't necessarily chill, but at least it's not the stereotypical, just like, you know, oh, yeah, Republicans doing crazy fucking shit. Trump this, fucking Sans that, and all this other garbage. It's like, ugh. At least there's a little bit of reprieve. Or at least it will be for a little bit. Definitely will at least, you know, see what random little bits of news that Onion sticks out on. Which honestly probably is just going to be kind of a rehash of just shit that we've already been kind of seeing throughout the week. I'd be kind of curious to what they say about the whole Senat thing, honestly. Like, I know for a fact they're definitely going to be talking about that shit. Like, that shit went fucking national. Or, like, it went national as soon as that shit popped off. Like, I mean, that's what honestly made it even more exceptional, pretty whack for me. I guess, you know, honestly, that must be the big thing to talk about. Because, like, I mean, honestly, just like the sheer sudden, just like, really just the suddenness of it, you know, is what kind of, you know, like, threw me for the loop over it. Because I assume like that, wasn't pre-planned like weeks ahead of time. It, like, from what I understand, leading up to it, basically was within like a 24-hour time period, basically. Like, very short notice type of shit. So if that's the case, then it's like, I mean, that makes it even more nuts. And it honestly makes it even crazier knowing that if it was like a week or two pre-planned or something, then way more people would have showed up. I mean, and that would have been even more crazier to think about. Which just shows, at least, especially from last night, like I was saying near the end of it, was like, that shit really could have been way worse. Even with the situation like it was. Because, I mean, a lot of those kids could have gotten legit angry, frustrated, and started, like, turning cars over or whatever the fuck and shit, but they didn't. I mean, there was crazy shit that happened, but not to, like, such a degree, like, a straight full fucking riot happened. Even though it technically was called that, I mean, it really even wasn't. It was just a super rowdy fucking event. Like, that's just, I mean, I'll still stand by that. It wasn't really a riot. Just given the circumstances, I can understand why it was called that, but, I mean, it really wasn't. I guess it did near the end of it, because, like, once he left and, the whole event was over, and you still had a bunch of these kids who, obviously realizing and finding out that, oh, yeah, your boy left, and it's all over, and you didn't get anything. I'm sure some of them, are going to be genuinely pissed. Which I don't get why they would, because, I mean, like, a lot of them went in there knowing that that probably wouldn't have been a possibility. They just went in there on just a slight chance that they might. Which at least a few of them, going in there like that, is good. Because I remember at least watching some of the little news clip about it from last night where, like, the news crew were like, oh, hey, we found some Zoomies, let's talk to them. And at least, from what they were saying, they at least, were being mature about it. It's like, yeah, some people are being reckless and bugging out. And, it's like, and we all kind of came here, not really expecting something, but just a chance that we might, maybe to see him, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Thought it'd be cool. And, yeah, now we're here, and, things are all kind of whack now, so we're just leaving. So, at least they were being smart about it. Well, I'm sure by that point, I'm sure a lot of kids were probably thinking, like they were. Lolling around for a little bit, slowly but surely, kind of shuffling their way out of there after they made a couple friends or something. I mean, honestly, I'd say despite, the crazy shit that happened with it, I mean, it wasn't even really that bad. Just definitely fucking crazy. I mean, if anything, I argue that, I mean, like, if it was just done at a venue, it probably would have been a utter fucking vibe. Like, honestly, but that's just what made it not, really. I mean, it still kind of was, but it just not to the way it should have been. Like I said, numero uno fuck up one. Not setting up a venue. And knowing that guy, he could have gotten a big one, too. Like a little small stadium or something. I mean, shit, like an indoor stadium or something. Like one of those little indoor basketball stadiums, like a small one. You'll see at like a college or some shit. Oh, that would have been perfect, right there. Like some local college, near New York or in New York, and fucking just set up in the gymnasium. Because you can fit a fuckload of people in there. There you go. I'm sure a college or university will be totally fine with that, because if anything, half the, a good chunk of the kids that are going to that college probably already know about the dude. So, I mean, that right there would have been perfect. And you probably could have found, an area that would have been close to downtown. Could have done that. And shit would have been popping, honestly. Well, dang. Swept out all the water and your food. Alright, I have a feeling you'll probably get a little ornery about that. And let me get your food. Here's that for you. Now for the water. And there's the water. Alright. Yeah. Well, someone's more hungry than thirsty today. Well, considering he drank like 2 water bowls worth of water last night. And he still hasn't done his like 2-minute long gas piss either. Which kind of makes me a little nervous. I've let him outside. He was hanging out for a bit out there, and he didn't even bother doing any of that. So now I'm just like, oh. You really don't got to be that loud eating food, bro. Why? Why? You don't have to be so loud about it, dude. My lord. Why do you have to be so goddamn fucking loud about it? Man, what a silly fucking thing, dude. Goddamn goof. Dios mío. Alright, well, YouTube's not giving me much for interesting stuff to look at. Let's go for the Reddit. See what's going on the Reddit. There's always bound to be some interesting shit. There's always at least a few things there. I still got like another 20 plus minutes to kill anyway. What type of bug is this? What the fuck type of alien looking motherfucker is this? This looks more like a crustacean or something. What the fuck is this thing? What the fuck is that? That straight up looks like a crustacean with wings, dude. What the hell is that? People got answers? I thought it was cockroach orgy. What the fuck? Northern mole cricket? It's a northern mole cricket? This is a fucking cricket? That's a cricket? What the fuck? I guess it's a cricket, I guess. Fucking thing looks like a lobster crustacean cockroach hybrid thing, honestly. Like, good lord, that thing looks weird. Like, my lord. The answer is yes. Ooh. It's on r/conservative. Oh my god, this is huge. Oh no. Going to a university, how do I stay true to myself while avoiding conflict? Oh boy. One of the most ideologically possessed schools and programs, in my opinion. I'm having to take power, identity, and diversity course my first semester, and I'm nervous about bringing up my opinions if I'm called on. I know I'm not alone in this, but it feels like I'm slowly submitting to a culture I don't recognize. Well, there's your first issue. Like, just because, you don't recognize it doesn't mean it's a fucking thing and a part of reality, bro. And you don't have, you know what? You don't have to fucking recognize it if you don't want to, but guess what? It's still a fucking thing, and if it's a part of a class, then guess what? You're gonna be learning about it. Like, get over it. Anyone with the ability to think freely are stuck in silence? No, they're not! What do you mean? Just because you happen to be learning about it in a classroom doesn't mean you're, like, fucking, like, being forced to just be silent or something, when it comes to your views. Like, you don't have to, like, suddenly be like, oh, yep, I changed my views immediately now. I mean, obviously, I'd argue whatever's being taught in that class is probably for your fucking benefit, but, I mean, like, at the end of the day, no one's forcing you to fucking, like, submit or some shit. Like, fucking hell, dude. What a bitch. The views are essentially democratic liberal. Evidently, they're not. But even with precaution, I don't know if I'll be pilloried or not. Am I overreacting? Yes, you are, because you're a sad bitch. Like, good lord, that's just really pathetic. I mean, over a fucking class, dude. I mean, fuck, there's things, when, like, I was in college, that I was taught in classes, that I'm like, and I thought it didn't necessarily make sense, but that doesn't mean that, like, the stuff itself was, like, somehow wrong or something that I just refuse to recognize. It just means that, I had a personal opinion where I'm like, I don't know about that. But so what? That's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, my lord. Like, I remember taking a global climate change class, which was predominantly mostly about, like, teaching about, well, global climate specifically, but obviously there was things about climate change that, mostly at the end of the class that were talked about. But, like, and at least specifically around that time, like, every now and then, our professor at that point would, discuss it, but kind of went at an approach to where it's like some, people who acknowledge climate change tend to be alarmists and stuff like that, and I didn't totally agree with that. I think, them being alarmists actually for good fucking reason, right? Like, so, I mean, it's like one little thing about, the overall class and stuff, and, it's like, well, yes, these are issues, but a little sensationalist at times, and it could be alarmist because it's not as big of a threat as blah, 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 that type of shit, basically. I mean, not saying that we shouldn't do anything about it, basically, is what, from his position, but, nonetheless, basically, still people take it sensationally, which, again, I don't agree with that, but nonetheless, it was one of those things where I don't totally agree, but, at least when it came to the overall, like, class and stuff like that, I still liked it, still enjoyed it, and still learned a lot, but, I mean, fuck. I mean, at least, with the example still in mind, like, you can still have things you disagree with in it, in a particular class or some shit, and you can still, wow, learn things and also have fun with it still, and, hey, shocker, come out just fine with your perspective, intact, or whatever the fuck. It's like, good lord, what a baby. My god, man. Some people just be serious fucking sensitive little bitches. Like, seriously. And it's like, even if you don't agree with whatever's being taught in the class, I mean, if you don't like it that much, then drop out and find another class. I mean, it's like, Jesus Christ, man. Some people are just so fucking seriously sensitive. I thought the left was supposed to be the sensitive types here. I thought it was people like me that was supposed to be sensitive. What, has the left become the edgelords now? Because if so, fuck yes. Like, I'm actually okay with that, but, I mean... Since when did that happen? Like, when did that, like, suddenly shift? And even then, the left isn't even that fucking edgy. I feel like there's a good chunk the left has kind of regained some edge, but not my personal level of edge. I'm an edge boy. Another classic from this count. And wokeness. Oh my god. You don't hate journalists though? You don't hate journalists enough? Try that in small town racist inside violence news. Kill white farmer. Just song, don't take it literally. Huh? What? Oh, is this about like that weird shit that happened in South Africa where like what's his face? Like basically was in a stadium and chanting some crazy shit. Like literally chanting a song about genocide and stuff. Like I've not heard one fucking person defend that. Not one. Like, I've heard about it, but I have not heard anyone defend it. It's like, in fact, I don't even think I've heard anyone from the left even talk about it. Because, like, it's probably because it's just, you know, a bunch of, you know, crazy shit. And also, there's probably just more important things to discuss than, you know, the right wing being like, see, you just support that. It's like, they're not even going to entertain that. Like, what? Like, they have to just, like, make shit up. They really just have to make shit up as they go. Like, they can't even at least attempt to have, like, some level of reality. At least some basic foundation. They just literally have to just make shit up as they go. I mean, it's fun making shit up. I mean, I ain't against that, but like, fuck, can you at least have a little bit of reality if you're trying to, like, you know, take a jab at your political opponent? I mean, fucking hell, dude. You're starting to make it not fun anymore, conservatives. You're starting to make it just like, ugh, you know, just like drolling on and type of shit. Just like, just consecutive and consistent and just like rote. It's like, come on, let's change it up a little bit here. You're not making it fun anymore, conservatives. Chinese tunnel under Boise? Nah. Wait, are there rumors about Chinese tunnels in Boise, Idaho, too? I'm actually curious. If you're from Boise, you probably heard that there are Chinese tunnels running a network underneath downtown. We take deep evidence of these tunnels. Check it out. Oh, so some podcasts, huh? Dig down deep enough and you'll end up in Idaho. Oh, Chinese proverb. As some network turns, I hear they're utilized for hiding moving liquor. Good time gals back in the day. All the Chinatowns had them. They're all over California from Gold Rush. Don't forget Prohibition. Construction downtown about a year ago. I think one of those tunnels were exposed. No idea what it was for. Wow, so there are some underground tunnels, but it's likely they're not actually, you know, were like secret Chinese tunnels or something. I know at least in Portland there actually are. Like because obviously being Portland and being on the West Coast, like there was obviously a lot of you know, Chinese immigration that happened around here. I mean, well, throughout the entire West Coast, from like California, Oregon, Washington, you know, and for like British Columbia, etc. And of course, you know, what came along with that were things like opium dens, stuff like that. And of course, you know, with that, the whole cultural bullshit that came from that too back in the day. In fact, some of the first immigration legislation the United States has passed was specifically directly against Chinese immigrants and shit at the time. But digressing from the point that, like, you know, because of a lot of that type of shit, they had to be more like underground with that. So there were, at least especially in Portland, I think they were nicknamed Shanghai tunnels. I think they're called, at least nicknamed, if I remember correctly. But they're just more colloquially known as just like, you know, the, you know, underground, like the underground city, or like the underground tunnels, just generally. But yeah, but at least, you know, in the early days, I mean, like a lot of Chinese immigrants and just generally immigrants used them a lot to kind of like do a lot of, you know, like, you know, kind of secret opium den type of things and shit like that. Which honestly, Portland isn't in really like a stranger to having like little underground clubs, but they've been a lot more like cleaned up, so to speak. Because at this point, they're just more or less just like sex clubs and like, you know, more raunchy rave clubs and shit like that. Which obviously you can imagine, you know, drugs are still being heavily used in those to an extent. Maybe not like crack or some shit, but, you know, probably, you know, things like opium, you know, probably, you know, at least for sex clubs, probably shit like poppers too and stuff. So, you know, I guarantee you there's shit still being used, but, you know, probably just not to the same degree that, you know, people would make it out to be. Because, I mean, my friend, or at least a couple of my friends have been to, one underground club called Sanctuary that they have to have a fee to get in, so it kind of at least keeps more questionable folks out and stuff. So, I mean, you know, like I said, at least nowadays there's a little bit more of kind of like, you know, underground rules, so to speak, but that just also depends on certain locations too. That's why you go to the more credited ones, like Sanctuary and shit. Because they at least have an actual decorum about shit like that. But nonetheless, though, it's like, I mean, there's a lot of them now at this point are abandoned. In fact, you can actually take some tours to them, too. And in some places in Portland, like on the sidewalks, you'll like sometimes notice these gigantic, big, like, still like diamond grid plate things and shit. From my understanding, back in the day, those used to be the elevators to get underneath. I don't think they are anymore, or at least they've been reconfigured to be other shit. But back in the day, that's what they used to be. It used to be elevators to go to underground and shit. So I mean, it was definitely pretty common for Portland to have it for a while. But like I said, most part they're all abandoned. But rumor at least has it that some parts of those tunnels are still used to this day. Though that's, I feel like, just rumors. I mean, I imagine if that is the case, it's probably a bunch of kids spelunking and, you know, exploring the place and seeing what's under there and maybe spray painting and marking their turf or some shit like that, and, you know, that stuff. But the thing is, if that's the case, I feel like, you know, you would get like some amateur photographer going down there, taking some interesting pictures or some shit like that, you know, and showing that on the Portland subreddit or something like that. You feel like there'd be something about that. Because if that's the case, then I probably would have heard something about it, because then I would go down there and do it. Because honestly, I've always wanted to go to the underground tunnels and shit, just to explore them. Just kind of see what's under there and stuff like that. You know, but, you know, obviously, there's not really as far as I know, really any access to it. Outside of just, like, the place they can get like a little tourist exploration thing going on with that. Which I don't even know where that would be. I've always heard that's a thing, but honestly, I could not tell you where that is. And the thing is, because I've always heard it's a thing, you know, part of me wonders if it even is a thing. Or at least, you know, maybe it was. Because I feel like there would be like some event or some shit like that, you know, or something that I would have heard about by now. That's why I always, you know, put a little skepticism to it, but, I mean, knowing there at least is history to it, though, I mean, I know there at least is accuracy to it, but either way, still pretty cool that Boise at least has some of that shit, too. Though, to be frank, I'm not really fucking surprised. I'm sure a lot of these, like, major cities today probably honestly got, like, different forms of these, like, underground tunnels and shit. Oops. Yeah, come back. There we go. There. What are little things on the way? Get it. OSHA says fuck you to daily commuters. Whoa, what? Uh-oh. Oh no! Oh no! Oh shit! Damn. That's a high tide. Oof. That was a big fat wave, and it just, like, wiped them all out. Damn, dude. Oh, wait, so, where is it? Okay, so I guess it's in the Maldives. The Sinamali Bridge connecting Mala City to Humale, Whole Humale in the Maldives happened today. The highest peak in the Maldives is Mount Vilingili at 5 meters of elevation. The views must be incredible all the way up there. Wow. They have a mountain that's 5 meters high. Wow. Well, I guess that explains the high tide situation that happened there. They're basically at sea level. Damn. Still got murked, though. So, does that just happen normally? Is that just a daily occurrence? I mean, I guess it has to be, but if that's the case, then why don't they have a better seawall or something? I mean, you would think there would be. I mean, especially if that happens. I mean, it looks like it does, because the road was all wet as fuck before that wave even showed up. So obviously, I'm starting to think those people are doing that for fun. It's kind of like at St. Martin at the beach, where the end of the airport is like right at the beach. So every time a plane takes off, you're just literally getting blasted and just like fucking like flying and holding onto a fence or just like all ripped up. It looks like it's one of those situations where they're all just kind of fucking around, having fun, and know that, they'll get like whoosh, just washed away by, a fat major wave, when it hits. Which, you know what, if I was a little stoned or a little, drunk and saw that, I honestly would do the same thing. Even sober, I'd do that, honestly. Who am I kidding? One, I'm a dude. Two, like, I like stupid fun. And three, that's a lot of stupid fun that, a man like me will enjoy. So, definitely something I would definitely appreciate. Oh, at least make sure I wear long sleeve a little bit. Long sleeve clothes. I don't care about getting wet and shit, because, I don't want to at least get road birds, though. That'd be the one thing. What the me IRL. So, penis having people, y'all just walk around with penis with one leg of your jeans. How do you choose? Can you switch leg sleeves in public? Does it get caught in your zipper? Does it shave? What the fuck? Yeah, you just kind of let it, I mean, I'll answer the questions. Yeah, one-legged jeans, I mean, yeah, you kind of have to. I mean, for the most part. I mean, yeah. I mean, you just kind of have to let it either sit on one side or the other, or just, like, have it tucked in some way. And then, how do you choose? Well, I don't know, you just kind of do. And you switch leg sleeves in public? Sometimes. Depends how baggy your jeans are and how baggy your boxes are and stuff. It doesn't get caught in your zipper? Not unless you're an idiot. Maybe you might get like a pube hair that might get stuck, and that, that gets kind of, annoying, but, whatever. And does it shave? No. It does not. Oh my god, dude. The true questions that must be answered. Oh, man. Gotta love it. I will admit, I do have, like, similar questions when it comes to, penis having people. I mean, when it comes to, I guess, vagina having people, it's like, I mean, what, there's some things I'm like, what, how's that all work? Like, I mean, like, because I will admit, like, I mean, when it comes to instead of, like, choosing one leg of the jeans, does every now and then, like, the underwears or, like, the pants kind of get, like, caught or some shit, and, like, kind of like a wedgie, you know what I mean? Like, does that happen sometimes? And if so, do you have to kind of do, like, an adjustment, which obviously I'm assuming you have to, but it's like, is it just, like, something that you can kind of move around a little bit, or do you have to, like, reach down and adjust, or some shit? Like, I mean, it's like, hey, there's like-minded questions on our side of the spectrum with these things, too. It's just like, the true questions that must be answered. My lord. Fucking love it. Here, see what, one more thing. What's going on? A guide to pumping your own gas. Oh shit, are they actually finally doing that? I guess the Portland subreddit is now trying to let people know. For trepidation for people who grew up around here pumping their own gas, as someone originally was asked to say, I thought I could share a few pointers. It's not only fun and rewarding. I mean, I already know about how to do it. I've done it before. To offer gas to other nearby before putting nozzle away. That's one with a teapot. Oh my god, treating it like it's an elixir. Oh my god, dude. Oh, and it says it's a shitpost. Oh, you know what? I didn't even actually read the whole thing. Wait, what was the rest of it say? Part of it comes out of nozzle. Let's just insert it in your vehicle, then it's a love tube. The reason why this fast saying, it can be traced all the way back to Henry Ford. Oh god. Need to be primed. Drive a while on empty. You have to remove the oil cap. Pump about a gallon of gasoline directly into the engine. Oh my god. Yeah, this is shitpost. Okay, that's good. I like it. Oh man, that's good shit right there. I can always appreciate a good shitpost. So I guess the whole like self-serving gas thing, or at least letting that be an option in Oregon, I guess now is enacted. Which yeah, I wonder how that's gonna turn out. Honestly, I don't know. Like I'd imagine it'd probably be alright, you know, but I imagine there'll probably be overtime in the next couple months foreseeable. Probably a lot of layoffs and shit. Which I can imagine probably not a lot of happy people. But I guess we'll have to see. But anywho, gotta get myself off to work and all that fun stuff. So, peace out, and I shall see you all that next one. So, a toodaloo.